I am welcoming you all of them to Chemistry of Main Group Elements course. Today I am going to talk about nitrogen compounds of sulfur. Nitrogen compounds of sulfur. Sulfur forms nitrides with various kinds of sulfur nitrogen compounds. It can be given in the general formula S, N, capital N, N. It is one of the kind of sulfur nitrogen compound. Another one is S, N, capital N, 2. In first case, N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. In case of second case, N is equal to 1, 2, 4, and also have higher number also known, even 11, 13 also known. Other than these two cases, some other cases also there, but I am going to talk about majority of the sulfur nitrogen compound will come under these two classes. So these two classes general formula I have given now, and the first two sulfur nitrogen compounds I am going to talk about, that is tetrasulfur tetranitride. Before going to that one, normally if you have taken the sulfur nitrogen compound of first class S, N, S, N2, S3, N3, these three compounds exist only in gas phase. Exist only in gas phase. And also some of the sulfur nitrogen compounds, if we compare with the oxygen analog, then their properties are so differed. For example, the simplest compound we know that SNO. Maybe we can compare with SN. In case of SN, the oxygen analog will be nitric oxide. NO is an oxygen analog of SN. SNO we know that it's monomeric, but SN is polymeric. Similarly, we can compare another compound also. SN2. If we compare with the oxygen analog of elements such as N2O, if we compare with the N2O is a stable molecule, it will not that much ready to decomposition to convert the corresponding elements. But when we compare with the SN2, is not stable compound. It is ready to decompose into the corresponding elements such as sulfur and nitrogen. So this is another like that of sulfur was substituted by oxygen analog, then their properties are so differed. Okay, first of all I would like to talk now about S4, N4. Tetrasulfur tetranitride. All these compounds will come under the category of covalent nitrides. Tetrasulfur tetranitride having the formula S4N4. Okay, how can we synthesize this compound? S4N4. It is first of all very well known compound, and compared with all, it is the highly stable compound. Overall, if we compare with the sulfur nitrogen compound, tetrasulfur tetranitride is well known compound, and as well as compared with other compounds, it has a little bit higher stability. It can be readily synthesized from the monohalides. For example, sulfur monochloride reacts with ammonia in presence of chlorine in CCl2 gas at 20 to 50 degrees Celsius. Can get S4, N4 plus HCl. It can be balanced 2, 4, 4 plus 12. Okay. So how this reaction occurred? Sulfur monochloride react with ammonia in presence of chlorine, tetrasulfur tetranitrate can be synthesized. This reaction occurs through the mechanism of sulfur monochloride reacts with chlorine to form sulfur tetrachloride. Sulfur tetrachloride. So here chlorine behaves like oxidizing agent. Sulfur from here plus 1 to oxidizes to plus 4. So it was balanced. One sulfur tetrachloride formed that will react with the ammonia to form thiacyl chloride, SnCl. Thiacyl chloride plus HCl. This thiacyl chloride is a very reactive compound that will further react with ammonia to form tetrasulfur tetranitride. This is one of the route for synthesizing tetrasulfur tetranitride. Another way of synthesizing tetrasulfur tetranitride is treating sulfur monochloride with ammonium chloride. Sulfur monochloride reacts with ammonium chloride at 150 to 160 degree. No need to use any solvent. In the absence of solvent, we can get tetrasulfur tetranitride. Need to balance this equation. Okay. How does this reaction occur? Sulfur monochloride reacts with ammonium chloride. Here we are not using any kind of solvents to convert tetrasulfur tetranitride. This reaction occurs through the mechanism of sulfur nitrogen halides. For example, sulfur chloride reacts with ammonium chloride. First of all, it forms S3N2Cl2 plus HCl plus sulfur. This intermediate was isolated. Through sublimation procedure. Once this sulfur nitrogen chloride was formed, this was reacting further with the chlorine gas. S3N2Cl2 plus chlorine will give 2S3N3Cl3 plus 3 sulfur trichloride. Needs to balance this equation. Okay. Once trisulfur trinitrate chloride was formed, you can say in another form trithiacyl chloride was formed that reacts with the triphenyl antimony S3N3Cl3 plus triphenyl antimony. Triphenyl antimony, the role of triphenyl antimony here is just taking out the chlorine from sulfur. Once we remove chlorine from the sulfur, because this chlorine was attached with the sulfur, if we remove that one, it will be changed to the structure of tetrasulfur tetranitride plus triphenyl antimony dichloride. Antimony is oxidized from plus 4 to plus 5. So it is another way of synthesizing tetrasulfur tetranitride. Tetrasulfur tetranitride actually it has the color of yellow orange. It's a color, it's a crystals. It is highly crystalline in nature. It has the color of yellow orange. But depending upon the storing temperature, the color will be changed. For example, when you kept the tetrasulfur tetranitride at minus 190 degrees Celsius, it is looking like colorless. But when we increasing the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius, it looks like red orange. When it has gone to higher temperature, further more than greater than 100 degrees Celsius, it looks like red. So these are some of the interesting property about tetrasulfur tetranitride. Okay, now I would like to talk about their chemical properties. Tetrasulfur tetranitride is ready to undergo reaction with both Lewis acid as well as Lewis base. For example, if you react tetrasulfur tetranitride with a base such as strong base such as alkali, it can form ammonia. It can form ammonia, I mean the hydroxide part that is reacting, the sulfur part is reacting with hydroxide to form oxides, sulfide can form. Similarly, nitrogen part reacting with hydroxide to form basic ammonia plus sulfide. I mean thiosulfate plus sulfide. 6 hydroxide, 4. This one is thiosulfate and the next one is sulfite. So tetrasulfur tetranitride can react with the hydroxide as well as Lewis acid also. The tetrasulfur tetranitride can react with various kinds of Lewis acid. It can react with boron trifluoride and like that of aluminum trichloride and stannic chloride. So various kind of Lewis acid. It can form the adduct of 1:1 ratio as well as 1:2 ratio. Wow, I mean like that of it can react with one equivalence of Lewis acid to form 1:1 adduct with tetrasulfur tetranitride. For example, I am giving here boron trifluoride. If it's reacting, it can form tetrasulfur tetranitride. The nitrogen having a pair of electron is forming a coordinate bond with one equivalent of boron trifluoride. Okay. Here the very interesting part is the structure. Tetrasulfur tetranitride structure is completely changing once it was coordinated with any kind of Lewis acid in the 1:1 adduct. I would like to discuss this structure here. First of all, I can draw structure here. Then I think I can explain. Okay. So this one is the structure of S4N4. Okay. If you react with Lewis acid, you can see that one. The interesting part of the structure is this 4 sulfur atom. This 4 sulfur atom, if you connected, it looks like a tetrahedron. I mean the tetrahedron, each vertex will be occupied by sulfur. Similarly, if this 4 nitrogen atom, if you connect it, because it's a 2-dimensional structure, I have not drawn in the form of 2-dimensional. I have drawn just only in the form of like that of actually it has a 3D structure, but I have not drawn in the form of 3D structure. So what happened? It does not looks like you have to imagine that 2 nitrogen will be just front of the cage and another 2 nitrogen will be back of the cage. In that way, if you imagine, if you connect this 4 nitrogen atom, it can form a square if the vertex of each square having nitrogen atoms. So that is the relationship between these 2 atoms. So if you react this one with Lewis acid, what will happen? The structure will be completely now changed. You can see that one, how does the structure will be changed? You can see that one, in this case now, each vertex of a tetrahedron was occupied by nitrogen atom, and each sulfur will be occupied by the square of a vertex. Each vertex of the square will be occupied by now sulfur atoms. So the structure was changed from one form to another form. Like that of it was completely changed. So the one of the nitrogen was bonded with boron trifluoride. Okay. So now I have to go and discuss about their structure in detail. I have drawn the structure of S4, N4. So in this structure, what happened? How the atoms are arranged? That I already said that one. Each vertex of tetrahedron was occupied by sulfur atom, and similarly each vertex of square was occupied by nitrogen atoms. The square was intersects the square having nitrogen atom, the square of intersects the tetrahedron to form a structure of S4, N4. And another thing is, here the sulfur nitrogen bond, if you have taken all the bonds are approximately equivalent to 1.62 Armstrong. Of course, all of them will not have the same bond length, but all of them have approximately around 1.62 Armstrong. And another thing is, each sulfur and nitrogen having one unpaired electrons. Each sulfur and nitrogen having one unpaired electron. On that basis, if you calculate that, you will get the number of pi electrons will be around 12 pi electrons. How can we calculate the number of pi electrons? So you have to take the valence electron of 4 sulfur atom and 4 nitrogen atom. You have to add it. From the addition, you have to subtract number of sigma bond, and then further you have to subtract the number of non-bonding electrons. Finally, you can get the number of pi electrons present in this system. So if you calculate it, you will get the answer of 12 pi electrons. The 12 pi electrons are delocalized over the entire S4N4 cage. The interesting part, all the sulfur nitrogen are approximately equal to 1.62 Armstrong. So here there is no localized double bond. All the double bonds, all the pi electrons are delocalized over the entire cage. That's why it has the bond length around 1.62 Armstrong. Okay. So these are some of the structural features of S4N4. Okay. Completed. Then the next one is another important thing is this sulfur-sulfur bond. This one is a kind of not a single bond, it's a kind of weak bond. But this bond is between single bond and van der Waals distance. Around the bond length is actually around 2.666 Armstrong. So normally a single bond, sulfur-sulfur single bond means it should be around 2.08 Armstrong. Normal sulfur-sulfur bond 2.08 Armstrong, but its value is longer. It shows that it has very weak bonding between the two sulfur atoms. Okay, now we can go to the next one, which is disulfur dinitride. I am going to talk now about disulfur dinitride. Disulfur dinitride, which has the formula S2N2. Okay, so this can be prepared from the starting precursor. You have to use tetrasulfur tetranitride. Tetrasulfur tetranitride you have to take to the temperature around 300 degrees Celsius. You need to decompose. If you decompose, you can get disulfur dinitride plus sulfur. the sulfur needs to remove. If we didn't remove sulfur from the decomposition product, then it can form another kind of sulfur nitrogen compound such as S4N2. To avoid, to remove sulfur from the reaction mixture, need to add silver wool. If we added silver wool, the silver wool have the ability to react with the sulfur powder. Then what happened? We can get analytically pure disulfur dinitride. S4, N4 need to heat up to 300 degrees. It needs to decompose. That's why if we decompose with the help of silver wool, and the pressure should be around less than 1 millibar. Then what happened? It can form tetrasulfur tetranitride. You can see that one. It has again very good nice structure. It will be in the form of square. Each sulfur and each nitrogen has a pair of electrons. It is actually having a planar ring, planar 4-membered ring. If we calculated again, if we take the valence electron of sulfur and nitrogen, if we added, then if we subtracted 4 non-bonding electrons and the number of sigma bonds, you can get 6 pi electrons. 6 pi electrons are present in the 4-membered ring. The sulfur nitrogen bond is here 1.61 Armstrong. All of them are equivalent, and then it will be, the bond length will be around approximately 1.61 Armstrong. It will be in the various resonance structure. I have drawn one of the resonance structure. It is another resonance structure also. And another thing is, this compound is compared to the tetrasulfur tetranitride, it's very sensitive compound. If you react this one with the, because normally disulfur dinitride is insoluble in water, but in case if we added a drop of water or maybe a small amount of alkali solution or potassium cyanide solution, then it will be changed back to tetrasulfur tetranitride. That means it will act as a catalyst. Water or potassium cyanide that can act as a catalyst to convert disulfur dinitride to tetrasulfur tetranitride. And another thing is, in case if we didn't use any catalyst, it can't be stored for long period of time. Because if we kept for some more, because if we kept for because it has the ability to undergo decomposition, so it will be decomposed into polymeric form of polythiocyane. That means it can be like that of this bond will be get cleaved, and then SN will form a polymeric structure. So this compound will be slowly decomposed to polymeric structure. Polymeric, again it will be slowly decomposed to polythiocyane. Given at room temperature. Okay. Next one is polythiocyane. You can call it as polysulfur nitride. It has a general formula of SNX. It is actually the polythiocyane. Actually, this one is it's a bronze colored solid. It's a diamagnetic in nature, and interestingly, the sulfur nitrogen chain will be in a same plane, almost in the same plane. Okay. So this is the structure about the polythiocyane. and like that of then the interesting features about this compound. I already said that one. How can we prepare this compound? This compound can be obtained from disulfur dinitride. And disulfur dinitride, if we kept at room temperature, it will be slowly converted to polythiazide. The interesting features of this compound is it will be a very good. It can have the very good property of superconductor. It can behave as superconductor. Below 0.33 Kelvin, it becomes superconductor. And also it displays electrical conductivity. Displays electrical conductivity. Okay. So these are some of the features of polythiazide. The next one is sulfur dinitride. Sulfur dinitride. This one actually, the compound of sulfur dinitride is not a stable compound. It will be, because this one I already said that one at the time of introduction itself. I said that one. It can be, it have very small lifetime. It can be easily decomposed into their corresponding elements. This can be trapped in matrix because they have a confirmed formation of compound was confirmed by trapping in matrix. In matrix it was trapped at low temperature, and because it was trapped around at 20 Kelvin. If we increase the temperature, slowly decomposed into the elements. It can be prepared by so the name of this compound is phenylthiatriazole. This one, if you decompose to 100 degrees Celsius, this can convert to N2S. So this is again what happened. This is one of the resonance structure. It has various resonance structure. I have drawn one of the resonance structure. This one is very not stable compound compared to the nitrous oxide. This one is very less stable. It will be easily decomposed into nitrogen and sulfur. Okay. Next one is tetrasulfur dinitride. Tetrasulfur dinitride. S4N2. The tetrasulfur dinitride can be obtained by treating tetrasulfur tetranitride to higher temperatures. For example, S4N4, if we boil with xylene, xylene, S4N4 is converted to S4N2. This is one of the way of synthesizing tetrasulfur dinitride. The another way of synthesizing the compound is tetrasulfur tetranitride reacts with sulfur powder in toluene. So if we boil the toluene with the tetrasulfur tetranitride and the sulfur, also can get tetrasulfur dinitride. This is another way of synthesizing tetrasulfur dinitride. So this structure, if you have drawn the structure, means you can see that one, it has 6-membered ring. What does it mean? This 5 atom will be in a plane. This 5 atom will be in a plane. The fixed sulfur is just away from the plane. That's what I have drawn in this form of the structure. If we compare with the corresponding oxides, oxide analog you have taken means N2O4. N2O4 has completely different structure. But in this case, what happened? N2O4 does not have 6-membered ring that has nitrogen-nitrogen bond that we know the structure. It has like that of N2O4. But in case of when we compare with the corresponding sulfur analog, it has a 6-membered ring, and out of this 6-membered ring, all this 5 atom will be in a plane, and the 6th sulfur will be just a point out of plane from the 6-membered ring. Okay, the next one is pentasulfur hexanitride. Pentasulfur hexanitride S5N6. Okay. So this one can be prepared from S4N4Cl2. S4N4Cl2. So this S4N4Cl2 can be prepared by reacting tetrasulfur tetranitride with chlorine gas. One equivalent of chlorine gas, if you react it means you can get here S4N4C2. This is a cage structure. Once you got this one, you need to react with the bis trimethylsilyl sulfur diimide. We know that trimethylsilyl group is very sensitive towards halides. If a halide is there means the trimethylsilyl and the halide can go as trimethylsilyl chloride. Then what happened? We will get here product of yes. You can see the structure. The structure, if you look in the form of 3D structure, it looks like a basket. It looks like a basket. How does it look like a basket? You can see that one. This portion can be like a handle, and this one, the remaining portion S4N4 looks like S4N4. This portion, the remaining portion looks like a body, and the remaining SN2, that portion will be like a handle. So the overall structure of this molecule have a appearance of basket. Okay, and another thing is because of its very nitrogen rich content, so it is a kind of explosive nitrides. It is stable at room temperature. If you store this compound in net atmosphere, it is stable. But once the inert atmosphere was removed, then it may be if it's a sufficient amount of oxygen or oxygen, such kind of gas available, means it can be readily to undergo explosion. Okay. Next one is cyclotetrasulfur tetraimide. Cyclotetrasulfur tetraimide. I mean S4NH4. So this one is isoelectronic with sulfur powder. S8. So the structure almost looks like S8. First of all, how can we prepare this compound? It's very simple. It's kind of hydrogenation. S4N4. If you hydrogenate, if you reduce it, then what happens? You can get tetrasulfur tetraimide. So S4N4 needs to react with the stannous chloride, tin 2 chloride, to get the structure of S4NH4. So the structure I already said that one, it is isoelectronic with sulfur. Sulfur, we know that it has a crown structure. In the crown structure, alternative sulfur will be replaced by NH to get the structure of S4NH4. So this one is the structure of S4NH4. If you look again the structure, if you connect this 4 sulfur atom, it will form a square. And the square having the vertex was occupied with sulfur. Similarly, this nitrogen, this 4 nitrogen, if you connected, again it will form another square. Each square having the vertex was occupied by nitrogen atom. Then we can go to the other one, which is trisulfur trinitride anion. Trisulfur trinitride anion. Trisulfur trinitride is not stable compound, that I already said to, I already discussed about that one. Trisulfur trinitride monoanion, that means S3N3 minus. So this compound can be synthesized by treating with acid. So if you react with, for example, cesium acide, if you react with the tetrasulfur tetranitride in ethanol at room temperature, you can get S3N3 minus. It can also prepared from deprotonation of S4NH4. So this tetrasulfur tetraimide, if you deprotonate in presence of potassium hydride, also can get a S3N3 minus. It has very interesting structure. It's having a 6-membered ring, like borosine. Borosine already we know it has 6-membered ring, but it's more deviated from the borosine structure. Better I can put a minus charge in the attractive position. And borosine, we know that one, it's isoelectronic with benzene, but it's not isoelectronic with benzene because this one has more number of pi electrons. It has 10 pi electrons. It is almost will be called as pseudo aromatic compound, and the structure has a planar geometry. One electron will be delocalized over the 6 centers. So these are some of the properties of S3 N3 minus. Next one is thiazide halide. Thiazide halides. So this one actually what happened last reaction like that of in the synthesis of S5N6 the pentasulfur trihexanitrate, there itself I have discussed. Like that of for example you have to take first of all S4N4. S4N4 if you react with halogen, that halogen can be fluorine or chlorine. Halogen can be fluorine or chlorine. Then what happens? You can get a structure of this one I already drawn. I am just redrawing. Okay. And each sulfur having, sorry, not Cl, it will be X. Okay, it is forming S4 N4 X2. If you react another one equivalent of halogen, either it may be fluorine or chlorine, you can get again what happened. The remaining sulfur also can undergo halogenated. I am putting chlorine. Actually, it's not chlorine, it should be a fluorine or chlorine. Okay. So it's forming S4, N4, X4. In case this tetrasulfur tetranitride halide, tetrahalide, that in case if it is fluorine, it's stable compound. In case if X is equal to chlorine, then this compound, this intermediate will be changed to S3, N3, Cl3. So you will get actually sulfur having chlorine. Okay. So if the tetrasulfur tetranitride tetrahalide is forming, in case if it is fluorine, tetrasulfur tetranitride tetrafluoride is stable compound. In case if it is chloride, it will be rearranged to S3, N3, Cl3. And it has two different type of isomer. Either it can exist as cis isomer or trans isomer. Cis means all the three chlorine will be in the same direction. Trans means it should be in opposite direction. One of the chlorine is in opposite direction, then that will be called as trans isomer. Okay. Then it can be, now what happens? We have synthesized S4, N4, F4, also S3, N3, Cl3. It can be converted to fluoride derivative by reacting with silver difluoride. If you react this with silver difluoride, you can get S3, N3, F3. Okay. So the structure, if you take, means it's not having a perfect planar, it has puckered, almost like the chair structure with the puckered, like there of between planar and the puckered structure of 6-membered ring. Next one is thiacyl trichloride trioxide. So this one will be NSClO thrice. Also you can call this compound as sulfanuric acid chloride. Sulfanuric acid chloride. So this compound can be prepared by reacting SOCl2, thionyl chloride with sodium acide. Sodium acide with acetonitrile solvent. Need to keep the temperature minus 35 degrees Celsius to get the compound of NaClO thrice. Sodium chloride plus nitrogen. And also this compound can be obtained by, because last compound we have seen NaCl thrice. That one if you oxidize it, maybe sulfhydryl chloride SO2Cl2 also can get this compound. I mean I am talking about NaCl thrice that we have seen the last compound. That compound if you oxidize it with the sulfhydryl chloride, I mean SO2Cl2, also you can get this compound. This one actually what happened, having the puckered 6-membered ring. It looks like a chair shaped structure. I am just drawing one of the isomer. Okay. Again I have drawn the structure, actually it has again 6 members.